A very good afternoon and welcome to President Buhari approves immediate suspension of Rek Hudu Yunusa Ari in Adamawa Guba. Senior Registrar Department of Family Medicine UUTH Ekemini Udi urges residents of Akwa Ibom State to avoid stagnant water that breed mosquitoes. Plus, many thanks for joining us. And first in the news this afternoon is President Muhammadu Buhari, who has approved the immediate suspension from office of the Resident Electoral Commissioner Rek of Adamawa State, Barrister Hudu Yunusa, pending the completion of investigation by the Inspector General of Police on the conduct in the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Now, according to the brief communique, the president also directed the immediate investigation and prosecution, if found liable, of Barrister Yunusa Ari by the IGP. It stressed that the president has also directed investigation by the IGP, Director General of the Department of State Services, and the Commandant General of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps appropriate disciplinary actions to be meted out to them. Away from that, the federal government says it is considering how best to achieve subsidy removal without disrupting livelihoods in Nigeria. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Petroleum Resources, Gabriel Aduda, stated this, but could not be too specific until all indices were considered to ensure that the effects would not be harsh on average Nigerians. From the legislature, the management of the National Assembly, in conjunction with the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies, has released dates for the induction of lawmakers-elect. According to the statements, the induction is scheduled to commence from the 7th to 13th of May 2023 for Batch A, while Batch B will hold from May 14 to May 20, 2023. The National Assembly noted that the objectives of the induction and inauguration exercise is to expose members-elect to the functions of the National Assembly, its practices and procedures, as well as to elect Bola Tinubu has submitted 14 names that would make up the composition of the Presidential Transition Committee, PTC, ahead of the May 29 inauguration. The committee is saddled with the task of planning the week-long inauguration activities that will usher in Tinubu and VP-elect Kashim Shettima as president handed over ceremony. The development is coming few weeks after the president-elect nominated former Lagos State Finance Commissioner Wale Edun and Governor Atiku Bagudu of Kebbi State into the committee. In the 14-member list of the PTC, the spokesman for the Tinubu-Shettima Presidential Campaign Council, Bayo Onanuga, will serve as head of media and publicity, while the current acting national deputy chairman, North, of the All Progressives Congress APC. Meanwhile, President-elect Bola Tinubu has reassured Nigerians of his commitment to serve them and the nation. Tinubu, in a goodwill message to mark this year's Eid al-Fitr celebration and the end of the holy month of Ramadan, also stressed the need for mankind to live in peace. He thanked Allah for His grace to witness this year's Eid al-Fitr celebration. Tinubu, while describing Ramadan as a sacred as well as self-purification. Elsewhere, the Sultan of Sokoto and President General of the Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Said Abubakar, has declared today, the 21st of April 2023, as the first day of Shawwal 1444 AH in Nigeria. The Sultan made the declaration in his palace in Sokoto yesterday after the Sultanate's Council Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs, in conjunction with the National Moon Sighting Committee, received several reports from various moon sighting consultated Nigerian Muslims and wished them God's guidance and blessings, urging them to continue to pray for the peace and progress and development of the country. In another development, the president of the Economic Community of West African State, Umar Touare, has signed grant agreements with 15 training centers to build capacity on about €88,000 per cent and for an average duration of 18 months, which is aimed at training 12,000 young persons in the region. This was contained in a statement made available by the Commission. According to the statement, the purpose of each grant is to establish the framework of collaboration between ECOWAS and the recipient center that will sustain and increase agricultural productivity and create resilient rural society. And back here, residents of Akwa Ibom State have been urged to avoid stagnant water, which can breed mosquitoes, and keep their environments clean to prevent malaria during the wet season. Senior Registrar, Department of Family Medicine, University of Uyo Teaching Hospital, UUTH, Dr. Ikemini Udi, made this known during an interview with Spectrum Television. Udi is causing flu, such as diarrhea, among others. She added that a clean environment, regular hand washing, and medical checkup are some of the preventive measures taken to avoid bacteria during the wet season.
There are a lot of health-related diseases that comes with them. Maybe the pregnant women and those that are already, they have other infections. So with that, their immunity is reduced. So the bacteria and sometimes viral infection will get through to them and then causing cold. So most of them come down with. Another major disease that comes with the rainy season is the diarrhea. Now, diarrhea is very common because of the contaminated water and food. So during the rainy season, you see that most times the environment, the rain washes those things to the source of water that people take in. So you see that they come down with diarrhea a lot. Another disease that is common during the rainy season is malaria. We all know that mosquito breeds around stagnant. Now, preventing malaria is one, trying to keep our environment clean, clearing the bushes around us, and then we should avoid keeping containers that stores water for a long time, because that will serve as a breeding point for the mosquitoes to breed. And then during preparing your food, you know that flies, dirty water, and all of those can lead to you having diarrhea. So you try to prepare your food in a clean environment. You wash all your utensils. And then another major thing that helps during this rainy season is good hand washing. Try to wash your hand before you extremely wash your hand.
Let's turn our attention to Africa now, where Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has reportedly denied reports that the Ethiopian army had attacked Sudanese forces in the border area and warned those spreading such reports to desist from it. Abiy said some people were disseminating allegations to gain political mileage at a time where the Ethiopian and Sudanese peoples are facing many challenges. The Prime Minister's comments follows reports that Ethiopian forces attacked Sudanese forces in Al-Fashaga region amid the continuing clashes between rival forces in Sudan. Recall that Sudan and Ethiopia have been embroiled in a bitter dispute over the... Still in Africa, Guinea-Bissau has reportedly suspended 5 out of the 7 magistrates under the military prosecutor for refusing to handle the case of the February 1, 2022 attempted coup d'etat. It added that the 5 magistrates stopped going to work on 13th of April after presenting themselves handled by the civil court. Recall that in February last year, unidentified gunmen stormed the government palace and held the president and prime minister hostage for over 6 hours before the military ended the siege. 18 suspects have since been charged in connection with the incident. And now on the foreign scene, the defense ministry in Moscow says a Russian fighter jet Su-3 had left a huge crater about 20 meters wide in the city center. According to him, 3 people were injured, several buildings damaged, 1 apartment block evacuated, and 2 women were taken to hospital for treatment. And it described as an abnormal descent of aviation ammunition. A further report say investigation on the matter is underway. Still on the foreign scene, NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg has said that he believes Ukraine's country since Russia's invasion last year. The NATO Secretary General and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky disclosed that their meeting was aimed at discussing Ukraine's membership to the alliance in which Russia is clearly against.
After Russia's illegal annexation of Crimea in 2014, we stand by you today in your heroic fight against the Russian invaders and in defense of your country. And we do not know when this war will end, but we know that Russian aggression is a toxic pattern that must be stopped. We agreed on the importance of a just and sustainable peace.
And you're watching Spectrum TV News at 12. Still to come in the news. Manchester United dumped out of Europa League in 3-0 defeat to Sevilla. The details shortly. Just stay with us.
But there's an extra advantage if your product and services are pitched on a platform that gives you the added advantage over your competitors. For your desired return on investment and so much more, advertise on Spectrum Television, on StarTime's DTH Channel 421 and on free-to-air with a frequency of 12733. Spectrum Television.
Thanks indeed for staying with us. In our business news, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, has reported a marginal decline in Nigeria's 2%. The Commission said that the country's total oil and condensate stock has reduced to 36.966 billion barrels, even though Nigeria retains its position as Africa's number 2 country with the NUPRC Chief Executive, Gbenga Komolafe, stated that the Commission's efforts had begun to manifest in the gas sector, with an increase of gas reserves to 208.83 trillion cubic feet. He also noted that on new energy sources from 2000 had increased by 31%, representing the largest annual investment increase since 2010. Meanwhile, the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) has said it will release new unemployment and employment figures for the country by May 2000 to cover data collected from October 19, 2022 to January 22, 2023. The NBS added that it was learning from other countries to improve Nigeria's labor market statistics. It has revealed that about 67 million children partially or fully missed routine immunization globally between 2019 and 2021 due to lockdown has been eroded, stating that getting back on track will be challenging. Well, recall that before the introduction of a vaccine in 1963, measles killed approximately 2.6 million people each year, but the percentage of children vaccinated against measles fell from 89% to 81%, and the number of cases in 2020, with special attention on accelerating catch-up vaccination efforts for those who missed their shots. Still in health, the United Nations Development Programme, in partnership with Pearls Learning Hub, a capacity development initiative, warned that if plastic waste is not curbed, it may derail the Sustainable Development Goals as a whole. Chief Executive Officer of the hub, Ibukun Dusote, while speaking at a project opening event. And now in sports, Manchester United were dumped out of the Europa League following a dreadful performance in defeat to Sevilla. The Spanish side led after 8 minutes when Youssef En-Nesyri capitalized on a mistake from goalkeeper David De Gea to complete the win. United were well below their best as they exceeded Europe with a whimper. But this is the first of a series of potentially season-defining games for Manchester United as they take on Brighton at Wembley in the FA Cup finals this Sunday, as well as face key Premier League match at Tottenham on the 27th of April. Sevilla, meanwhile, will play Juventus in a two-leg semi-final on the left. Still in sports, Fabio Paratici has resigned as Tottenham Hotspur's managing director of football with immediate effect. The move follows Paratici was banned after Juventus, where he was sports and managing director before joining Spurs, was found guilty of false accounting. However, Paratici had his appeal against his ban rejected. Lagos demarketed Nigeria. Omokri stated that demarketing one's own country through movies is like punching holes in a ship on which you are a passenger. He added that the essence of the movie industry is not just to make money, but to also market a country. A report said the movie has been trailed by mixed reactions since hitting the screens on April 7. The portfolio company of his venture capital fund Zagadat Capital for $1 billion. The digital audio and video distribution infrastructure company was acquired by American firm Gamma and music and technology firm owned by a former Apple Music executive Larry Jackson. Was speaking on the history of Afrobeats. And with that, we come to the end of the news. Many thanks indeed for joining us. And don't forget, you can follow us on all of our social media platforms, but do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All of which